Hey guys, welcome to today's junior youth group. Today we'll be celebrating those who show us grandparently love, as Grandparents' Day is Sunday, September 13th. Today we have a great game and a story, and we even have some special messages from some very special people you might recognize to all of you. If you need anything, Eric and I are here for you and your family, so please let us know. Let's get started.
Are you ready to play a game of Disney Grandparents? This one's similar to the past ones we've played. You just have to try and tell me which character is the grandparent or the grandparent figure of these other characters. Let's begin. So for the first one, who is the grandparent of Mulan? Is it A, B, C, or D? Ready for the answer? It's A. Good job. Let's move on to the next one. So for Moana, is her grandparent A, B, C, or D? Here comes the answer. It's D. For Miguel, is his grandparent or grandparent figure A, B, C, or D? Miguel was in the movie Coco. Here comes the answer. Good job, it's B. For Wilbur from Meet the Robinsons, is his grandparent or grandparent figure A, B, C, or D? It's B. For Russell from Up, is his grandparent figure or grandparent A, B, C, or D? You ready for the answer? It's C. This one's one of my favorite movies. From Pocahontas, is her grandparent or grandparent figure A, B, C, or D? It's D. Good job. Thanks so much for playing with me.
So our story today is entitled Last Stop on Market Street. The words are by Matt de la Pena, and the pictures are by Christian Robinson. We hope you enjoy today's story. Our story today, Last Stop on Market Street. With words by Matt de la Pena, and pictures by Christian Robinson. Dedicated for Luna and her two grandmas, Ronnie and Grace, Matt de la Pena, and for Nana from Christian Robinson. CJ pushed through the church doors, skipped down the steps. The outside air smelled like freedom, but it also smelled like rain, which freckled CJ's shirt and dripped down his nose. He ducked under his Nana's umbrella, saying, "How come we gotta wait for the bus in all this wet?" "Trees get thirsty too," his Nana told him. "Don't you see that big one drinking through a straw?" CJ looked for a long time, but he never saw a straw. From the bus stop, CJ watched water pool on flower petals, watched rain patter against the windshield of a nearby car. His friend Colby climbed in, gave CJ a wave, and drove off with his dad. Nana, how come we don't got a car? Boy, what do we need a car for? We got a bus that breathes fire, and old Mr. Dennis, who always has a trick for you. The bus creaked to a stop in front of them. It sighed and sagged, and the doors swung open. What's that I see? Mr. Dennis asked. He pulled a coin from behind CJ's ear, placed it in his palm. Nana laughed her deep laugh and pushed CJ along. They sat right up front. The man across the way was tuning a guitar. An old woman with curlers had butterflies in a jar. Nana gave everyone a great big smile and a good afternoon. She made sure CJ did the same. The bus lurched forward and stopped, lurched forward and stopped. Nana hummed as she knit. How come we always got to go here after church? CJ said. Miguel and Colby never have to go nowhere. I feel sorry for those boys, Nana told him. They never get a chance to meet Bobo or Sunglass Man. And I hear Trixie got herself a brand new hat. CJ stared out the window, feeling sorry for himself. He watched cars zip by on either side, watched a group of boys hop curbs on their bikes. A man climbed aboard with a spotted dog. CJ gave up his seat. How come that man can't see? Boy, what do you know about seeing? Nana told him. Some people watch the world with their ears. That's a fact. Their noses, too, the man said, sniffing at the air. That's a mighty fine perfume you're wearing today, ma'am. Nana squeezed the man's hand and laughed her deep laugh. Two older boys got on next. CJ watched as they moved on by and stood in the back. Sure wish I had one of those, he said. Nana set down her knitting. What for? You got the real thing sitting across from you. Why don't you ask the man if he'll play us a song? CJ didn't have to. The guitar player was already plucking strings and beginning to sing. To feel the magic of music, the blind man whispered. I like to close my eyes. Nana closed hers too. So did CJ and the spotted dog. And in the darkness, the rhythm lifted CJ out of the bus, out of that busy city. He saw sunset clouds swirling over crashing waves, saw a family of hawks slicing through the sky, saw the old woman's butterflies dancing free in the light of the moon. CJ's chest grew full, and he was lost in the sound, and the sound gave him the feeling of magic. The song ended and CJ opened his eyes. Everyone on the bus clapped, even the boys in the back. Nana glanced at the coin in CJ's palm. CJ dropped it in the man's hat. Last stop on Market Street, Mr. Dennis called. CJ looked around as he stepped off the bus. Crumbling sidewalks and broken down doors, graffiti-tagged windows and boarded-up stores. He reached for his Nana's hand. How come it's always so dirty over here? She smiled and pointed to the sky. Sometimes, when you're surrounded by dirt, CJ, you're a better witness for what's beautiful. CJ saw the perfect rainbow arching over their soup kitchen. He wondered how his Nana always found beautiful where he never even thought to look. He looked all around them again, at the bus rounding the corner out of sight, and the broken street lamps still lit up bright, and the stray cat shadows moving across the wall. When he spotted their familiar faces in the windows, CJ said, "I'm glad we came." CJ thought his Nana might laugh, her deep laugh, but she didn't. She patted him on the head and told him, "Me too, CJ. Now come on." And that's our story. Hey, so we have something special for all of you today. Coming up next Sunday is Grandparents' Day. And so we've got some special messages from some of your grandparents and great-grandparents for you. Some messages are videos, and some are just notes. We're going to start with the notes. Our first note goes to Leo and Rory from their Grandma Chris. And this is what your Grandma Chris says. "Leo and Rory, I love being your grandma. You bring me joy, and I love to watch you grow and learn. I appreciate your generosity, your kindness, and the way you enjoy life. I will see you soon. Love, Grandma Chris." Ian in Ireland, I know that your great-grandma Judy loves getting to spend time with you. One of the best parts of her week when she gets to spend time with you. And I know together you guys especially enjoy making cookies together. That sounds like a lot of fun. Well, we hope you guys are having a wonderful weekend together this weekend. Well, with that, we're going to head on in and see some of the other video messages to some of you from your grandmas.
Of joy and happiness and love just beams from Olive. She's funny. She says funny things. She will just come up and kiss you and say that she loves you. And I always enjoy having her around, having everybody around. But she is a special little spark. When we all get together, we are a blended family, and we've been through a lot and survived a lot and thrived as a strong family. And when we all get together, we usually have food, like everybody's family, but we always have a special prayer when all 10 of us are together, and sometimes with her grandpa Doc as well. I used to say the prayers, but in my older age, I cry. So I asked about a couple of years ago, I asked who will give the blessing at this dinner. And Olive was the one that spoke up and had a beautiful from the heart prayer. And so ever since, Olive's been our prayer. So that makes her even special. She's full of the love of the Lord. and eager to share it with anyone. So I am blessed to be her Grandma Jill. Thank you.
Hi, Benjamin. It's Yaya from California. I just wanted to say how much Papa and I love you and how much we miss you and how it's been such a joy with you in our lives and our whole family's lives these past 2.5 years. We're so excited that you're such a good big brother to your baby brother Aaron, and we can't wait to come see you in Oregon, or sometime you can come see us in California. We love you so much. Love you, Ben.
I'm Jan Hagemeister. Here's my grandchildren, my great-grandchildren, except for Benjamin. I got the pillow the year before he was born. So, when Eric asked about how I show love to my grandchildren, great-grandchildren, I think it's more a matter of spending time with them when I can. It's been very difficult not to spend time with them in the last 6 months. They did come at one point, and Lily and Jolene came and drew some lovely pictures on my patio door on the outside that are still there 6 months later. I think with Lily and Jolene, I think their favorite things with Gigi are coming to church and going out to lunch after. They especially love to go to Elmer's and have the face pancakes, and they're still asking their mom, when do we get to go to Elmer's again? And she said, well, it'll be a bit. I'm not the traditional grandmother in terms of cooking together, baking together. I'm not much of a cook, so going out for meals is my thing, basically. When their mom and her brother were young, I would go and get them also and bring them in to church. They lived way out by Peoria, but I'd go get them and bring them in for church, and they were very involved with the mission trips and have wonderful memories, and I would do it with the promise that we'd go out for lunch after, and that was Tyson's favorite thing. He was a growing teenage boy, and so anytime they could go out for lunch, that was great. In fact, years later, he became involved in a church in Salem, and he said, Graham, why don't you come up and go to church with me? I'll take you out for lunch after. And I said, oh, goodness, okay. I guess other things that I have done with the grandchildren, probably shouldn't say this, and you can edit it if you like. Tyson and Megan, my grandchildren, were with me for a weekend many years ago when they were teens or younger. And it was an evening, and I couldn't figure out a way to entertain them. So I sat them down at the kitchen table, and with M&Ms, I taught them how to play blackjack. And that's one of Megan's favorite memories, that I taught them how to play blackjack with M&Ms. I love my grandchildren, love my great-grandchildren. I try to keep a fund going for their college education. And I pray for them every day that they will be healthy and happy and grow up to be wonderful adults. Lily and Jolene, if you're watching this, know that Gigi loves you very much, and here's a big hug for you. And I can't wait to give you one in person. Love you. Bye-bye.
So this summer's been hard because we can't be with our grandchildren. So we've had to, create different ways to connect. And so I have been on Zoom with my grandchildren, and I babysit them, Lily and Sammy, on Zoom, and we read stories, and we play games, and we do I Spy. And the best part was this summer, they came and stayed in the motorhome with their mom, and they ran all around the yard and went in the hot tub and played on the play structure, which they call the park, and they watched goats. There were 60 baby goats out there. So it was really special. And even though I can't be with them and touch them, we're still connected. So I love you guys.
Now we recognize that not all of your grandparents were able to send a video. But in no way does that mean that they don't love you. I have not a doubt in my mind that each one of them is so proud and loves each of you so much. Now we know that some of your grandparents right now are dealing with major health things, challenges, and I know that's got to be hard. But know that we're praying for them and for you. Some of you, I know your grandparents, they live far away in other countries. And I know, and sometimes you only get to talk to them once in a while on the phone. But I'm sure they love you too. So Marilee, Sophia, Kai, Maisie, Alice, Clara, Chinawa, and Kibwe, and all the rest of you. Also, I want you to know that grandparently love isn't just biological. That each of you, has got a whole church family full of grandparents that love you, that believe in you, that are here for you, that are cheering for you, always. Now, my assignment for you all this week is I want you to take the time to, maybe it's to go visit your great grandma or your Gigi and draw some pictures on her window. Maybe it's to bake some cookies for a grandma or a great grandma. Maybe it's to make them a card or schedule time to do a Zoom call or a phone call. And not just for biological grandparents, but for those that show you grandparently love. Take the time this week to tell them how much their love means to you. Well, Morgan and I have had a great time getting to hang out with all of you once again. We miss being together in person, and we look forward to being able to be back together so soon. Know that we love you and that we're here for you, and if there's anything that we can do for you or your family, let us know. We'll see you next time.